Yo, it's Andre. I'm back with another video. In this video, I'll mention the purpose of working out. Working out. Oh yeah, so anyway, on my off times, one of the many things I do, I know I said I had 3 hobbies, but there's a lot of stuff I like to do that I never really mentioned before. So I decided to mention this in this video. I work out to increase my upper body strength. And why do I keep working out non-stop? Because if you don't use your muscle, you'll lose it. That's why it's important to, work out, balance. It's best to do it in moderation, you know what I'm saying? Why do I increase my upper body strength? What's the purpose of it? It's so I can lift whatever I want, no matter what it is. I want to be able to lift anything, no matter how heavy it is. That's why I train constantly. Why I lift my weights. The purpose of why I bought weights in the first place. Like I said, why do I run laps? Why do I train my legs? Why do I train parts of my body? It's so that way I'll always be in shape and never lose any side of it. That's right. So, if you don't work out any parts of your muscle, you'll lose it. You'll lose because not only will you be strong for a while, but eventually you'll lose it. Because also, this is called training through chaos. This is just another form of we call it creating through chaos. Because you work out, your muscles is feeling the burn, which is basically another term for feeling the lights. And it's basically, you're using chaos. One of the purpose of chaos too is your muscles get destroyed from the heavy lifting, and then it heals and is built back stronger, which is what's also known as creating through chaos. And light is also fire, and fire is light, one and the same. That's why when you work out, you feel the burn, because all reality, one of the main ingredients of existence is light. That's the main ingredients, one of them. So that's why I'm feeling the burn, which is no term for I'm feeling the lights. So yeah, so like I said, the purpose of working out is not to show off to women or not to compete with other men. The purpose of working out is so I can lift anything, no matter how heavy it is. I can lift anything, no matter how heavy it is. That's my goal. Yeah, because I want to just be able to lift wherever I want. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how heavy it is. I know the human body has limits, so I'm gonna train up to that limit. That's my goal. So, So yeah. Because there are only things that the highest self would give to the incarnation based off certain things they do. Because I get a lot of blessings by default, but then some things requires action for me to get it. That's the thing. This is one of them. In order for me to have a level of not super strength, I get that whenever there's a need for it. But when it comes to, the strength within my incarnation that I can control at any moment, I have to, work for it, and then I'll bless myself with incredible strength. So that's my goal. So. And I'll use heavier weights as time goes on, but I'm gonna still keep this weight right here. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep coming back to every size of the weight too. It doesn't just have to be heavier. Like it's good that you can use the little ones too. You can keep going back and forth, But yeah, so yeah, the importance of working out, like I said. But there's many ways to stay healthy. Working out is just one of many. For example, fasting is one of them. By fasting, you're becoming in tune with the earth, and it's healthy for you. And you'll be healthy and perfectly balanced always. What else? Just walking in general. Walking in the sun, and you're sweating out stuff from the sunlight. So your body, the toxins comes out of your body. Because the ability to sweat cleanses you too. Yeah, in the sunlight. That's another reason why the sun was created. And another purpose of the sun is to help us sweat things out that our body doesn't need. So, yeah. It's, how, the existence is set up. So, but yeah, remember people, not only do you work out, or not only do you or whatever you choose to do to be healthy, keep doing it, because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Everything is movement. Everything is vibration. If anything stops vibrating, it's basically the same as dying. So that's why you stay on the move. There are times when you're chilling, and then there are times when you must go for a walk. to balance the, so the body can feel always balanced, and you know what I'm trying to say. Just stay healthy, you know. Stay working out. Whatever you choose to do with your body, however you want to do it. Yeah. That's some good water. So good. My favorite type of water, my favorite temperature when it comes to water is cold ice. It's so freaking good, man. It's so good. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna let my fans know I work out not to be muscular or not to scare anybody or not to show off to a woman or not to compete with other men. I work out so I can be able to lift wherever I want. When I say lift wherever I want, it means no matter how heavy the object, I'll be able to lift wherever I want, like without ever being tired or, you know what I'm saying? If I lift something heavy, it won't make me tired, and then I can carry multiple stuff without ever, like, feeling like I'm losing energy. Yeah, that's my goal, is to be so I can lift wherever I want without ever feeling like it's heavy. I want to be able to, like, lift any object, no matter how heavy it is. That's my goal, so, in my physical body. So, I can only achieve that working out. Remember, folks, working out does not help you lose fat. It helps you build muscle. But for people who don't care to have muscle, yeah, you can fast, or you can just simply walk in the sun, or walk. You know what I'm trying to say. But the reason why it's beneficial to work out, because you can increase your upper body strength to where you can lift heavy objects as if it's like paper. See, ain't that cool? You can literally lift wherever you want. You can like so basically you can take a lot of stuff with you, and it'll be no different from lifting paper to you. Yeah, you know how, like, there are some people who want to take multiple stuff with them, but then they can't because they have to be stronger in order to carry multiple stuff. Otherwise, they'll hurt themselves. That's why this is why I work out. You know what I'm saying? Not just run laps or walk out in the sun, because I want to build muscle too. But the muscle is just for the purpose of lifting whatever I want. That is the purpose of why I work out. So, yeah. It's not for women. It's not for fame. It's not to show off to others. It's not to compete with other men. It's just for me and me only. Except when the men say that, we're speaking facts. Anything a woman does, she does for a man, but she's not going to admit that. You gotta understand, men and women have opposite natures. Men can exist by themselves, but a woman cannot exist without a man to be attached to. Women are opposite of us. This is why we can do without them, while they can only do with us. If they don't have us, they'll die. Yeah, they'll get lonely and they'll drop dead. While a man can do with or without them. We have both, because females come from us. They're the embodiment of our X chromosome, our X side within us. Yeah, while men have both YX. So this is why we can exist separately from females. Yeah, it makes no difference if they're right next to us or not next to us. We're completely on our own. Females just added, they're just an add-on to our life, but they're not a need to survive. They're not a want. We just choose to want them. The only way we'll want to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's literally no reason for a man to be with a female. I mean, but this is just nature. By nature, we don't want to have anything to do with them unless, they give us something in exchange. For example, notice how our nature is, right? We only want them when they're completely submissive to us. Like, yeah, no equal partner, that's made up. That's a lie. Notice how the only way we'll tolerate a female is when they're completely submissive to us and not trying to compete with us, not trying to come against us, not trying to just fully controlled by us. Why is that? Why is that the only way we're fully attracted to them? Because that's how nature intended it. Females are the bottom of chaos. Chaos is meant to be controlled fully. So therefore, it's the same thing with females. They're only meant to be controlled fully, not compete with us, not trying to have a saying in anything, not trying to. Yeah, their nature is to just do what they're told by the male. Do what they're told by the male counterpart. They're created for men to be servants of men. This is just what they are. This is why every man, if you look at your deep within yourself, this is why by nature we don't want to have anything to do with them. But only when they're servitude it makes it easy to have anything to do with them. Why do you think we're naturally like that? It's because, like, we don't need females, at all. That's why the only way if we were to tolerate them, they have to serve us fully. That's the only way we'll have anything to do with them. This is why we're not, yeah. Why do you think nature set up that way? Yeah, can just notice that if it's not for that, we'll just find them annoying. Yeah, we just want but the only way that a female would not be annoyed, the only way a female would not be annoying to a man is to be fully controlled by men. Yeah, there's a reason why I set up that way. It's just the natural order. That's why we find them annoying unless they're fully controlled. Because that's the only way that they can't be annoying to us. Is by doing everything they're told. By serving us. Because females want to be part of men's life on a regular basis all the time. They want male attention constantly. But they don't realize in order to have a male, you have to be valuable to the male. You have to be completely controlled. Because they gotta understand, we men don't want them. But if they want a man to accept them and bring them into our life, which pretty much we're risking, because by bringing a female company, you know how, like, there's all kinds of chaos that could be let loose, right? But the only way that won't happen is that she has to be fully controlled by us. Otherwise, what is the point in dealing with her? Exactly. So just notice that, like, yeah, women want men to want them, but if they want us to want them, there's only one option. They must be a servant to us. They must do everything we tell them to do. They must be what we want them to be. They must give up the pussy whenever we want them to give it up. I talk about females. Back then, females were happy because this is what they were doing back then. This is their true self. But the society lies to them, so they aren't being their true self. In this current society, females are taught to be more than what they are, which is destroying them. Which is why they're on antidepressants. Which is why they don't understand why they're miserable all the time. Because they weren't created to be where they're at. They were created to be a servant of men. This is why they're content and complete as a servant to men. But women deep down know this, but they're not going to admit it. They're going to, yeah, they want that, but then their unnatural side, which is taught by the world system, is fighting against their natural side. Yeah, they're basically fighting within themselves. Because deep down they know that they love being controlled by a man. But then they also are fighting with their conditioned side, where they're conditioned by society to think, behave. See what I'm saying? That's why these females are not worth it. These modern females. Yeah, but it's not just that. That's just the reality in general. In order for a man that want to have anything to do with a woman, she has to submit to the man completely. Because we are the ones who don't need them. So when women try, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you think naturally we find them annoying? And we rather be by ourselves because it's easy. When we're by ourselves, life is as easy as pie, easy as possible. A female that comes into your life, it's like she's a burden by default because you're taking care of yourself and her. But life is so much easier when you're just taking care of yourself. But the only way for her not to be annoying to the man, she has to be the servant to the man and not someone equal trying to compete with that man. What does a man need an equal partner for when he has himself? He doesn't need anyone else to survive. He has, yeah, just think of it. When he's by himself, single, the more money he has for himself, the more his strength he can use on himself. The more he can live life, enjoy life. If he has a partner, he's sharing with her, and that's annoying because you're giving up more energy than you have to in order to. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, a female is a burden when she's not being her natural self. That's just how it is. If they're not fully controlled, then they're a burden to men. Because remember, we don't need them. Why accept them when they're not being fully controlled? That makes no sense. Exactly. If females want to believe the lie that they're strong and independent and don't need no man, conditioned by society, then they should be happy being on their own too, right? But why are they not happy being on their own? Because it's not in their nature. But if they want a man to have anything to do with them, then they must be their true nature. But a lot of them won't because they're brainwashed. And like I said, these females are destroying themselves because anything that goes against this nature is self-destruct. Like I said in my past video, a man does not have to have anything to do with a woman. Just leave them there. Leave them over there. Don't approach them. Leave them to fend for themselves. They'll be destroyed by their own deception, by their own condition by society. Yeah, it's that easy. It's so cool when you realize it. Men don't need them for anything, or want them for anything. We just choose to want them. Realize that too. So anyway, a female can't do anything to a man that a man doesn't let. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We have to acknowledge them in order for them to have anything to do with us, whether it's positive or negative. Because like I said, why deal with a woman? Because just think about it. You just need yourself, you know, to exist, to live, and it's so freedom, liberating. You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to exactly. So when you take on a woman, you're taking on a burden. Yeah, you're taking care of two people. When you just want to take care of one person, yourself. No, yeah, just think how freedom life is. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's why. So yeah, I wanted to say this again. This is why nature is set up that way. Like, notice how, like, we only will tolerate them when they're completely submissive. But when they want to act like when they want to act like us, pretend to be us, like equal to us and all that stuff, there's a reason why we hate that, find that annoying. We just want to separate from them because we get energy from ourselves. So we have nothing. So yeah, so a woman that acts like us, it's like dealing with another man. And not only that, we're sharing our energy with another person, which makes life difficult because we get energy from ourselves. In order to experience the full energy, we have to be by ourselves. But the only way to experience the full energy still, even with a woman by our side, she has to be fully controlled by us. Yeah. That's just the reality. That's the only way we can keep our full energy without losing it when we deal with a woman. She has to be fully controlled. If not, then she will be sucking our energy like a succubus or a leech. Yeah, this is the reality why it's like that. So, anyway, like I said, work out, just for your health. Increase your strength. Not for anyone else. Remember that. It's for yourself. It's just healthy in general. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Peace.